Hello, everybody. Hello,
Hello.
Stephanie.
Oh, this
How
is
are
my
you doing?
phone.
Stephanie says, I'm here. Thank you, Stephanie, for always being here, always chiming in and and always representing for here and for tomorrow. So how are you doing, Stephanie?
Yeah, how are you?
Melissa, how are you doing today?
Listen, I am right as rain. I feel like I'm really getting into the groove of things. It's funny. I
Mhm.
feel like a lot of what I've been doing so far has been okay, who is this new person? Because I'm relearning myself and it's just been the most fun experience. I'm finding out what actually works for me and everything. So today was a really cool one. Yeah. How has your day been, Miss Wani?
My day has been my day was good. My week was good. My week has been very busy. Um like I say, it's the end of the fiscal year for me at my day job. So we've been trying to tie up loose ends for that. So I'm happy. So after tomorrow, it kind of shut it down for me and I can woosah. So I plan on just being here in my office, spread out across the floor with the TV on and creating my files for the next school year. So that is my plan. So I still have work to do, but I don't have to be glued to the monitor and sending emails all the time. So Stephanie says, sorry, I've been MIA. Life has been kicking me. Oh my goodness. Stephanie, we don't know what you're going through, girl, but we will definitely say a prayer for you and we will definitely continue to keep you lifted.
Do you want to do it now? That way she can hear it. As soon as you said that we would pray for her, do you want to pray for her? Or I
Oh
mean, or
yes. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
do you want to go or should
No, you go ahead. You go ahead.
I? Father, in the name of Jesus, I thank you for bringing Miss Stephanie here. Only you knows what it is that she's been dealing with this entire time, but I thank you that you encouraged her to seek community as opposed to isolation. The enemy can thrive when we're isolated and when we're your word says that we overcome by the blood of the lamb and the words of our testimonies. Without opening up our hearts and letting people know what's going on the inside of us, it's hard to be able to get help. So I thank you that she came into this loving, caring environment where we're reading a book about vision and becoming the next versions of ourselves, Lord, because the trial that she's going through is helping her become the next version of herself. And I thank you that she learns to value this process and learns what it is that you're trying to teach her. I thank you for all these things and more because you created her to be a conqueror. So I pray that in this moment she understands that there is victory on the other side and that you would not put her up against this obstacle if she was not meant to succeed. I thank you for giving her that conqueror spirit. And I thank you for bringing your Holy Spirit as a comforter to help her through this journey. In the name of your Son, Jesus Christ, amen.
Amen. All right, all right. And Sunny Day says, hello, Melissa and Wani.
Have a sunny
Yes,
day.
thank you. Yes, thank you. That was beautiful. So, sis, know that we will continue to pray for you. Whatever you're going through. You're just going through it. You're gonna get through it. You're not gonna be stuck in it. Amen. Amen. Being a homeowner owner, been dealing with roofing issues. Oh, girl, Sunny Day, keep that over there. Oh my goodness, been there, done that. We keep that over there. We don't want none of that juju. Ooh, that right there is enough to make you start cursing.
Aw.
I can imagine, and not only that, because Sunny Day is here in Georgia, Atlanta area,
Oh,
near me, and I don't know if she's having this issue, but it's hard to get people to do any type of work
mhm.
and or get any reputable type of people come. They'll tell you they come and they don't come. Then they start ignoring you. I was like, it is just really, really hard, and to not feel like you're being taken advantage of. So if that's what you're going through, girlfriend, I understand. Been there, been there. I'm still trying to get steps built. Can't find nobody.
Hmm.
She says she don't. You don't want it. You don't. Oh, you don't want the issue. You don't want the house or what? Hi, Catrice. Hello, hello. She says, "Amen."
Amen.
Girl, no. Okay, yes, Stephanie. So thank all of you guys for joining us for this week's book club. Last week was a really good week. We had Denise from This and That with Denise, who joined us last week. And so she gave us some great insight. And I'm really happy that she came on. She was doing what I have asked you guys to do, is to come on and be vocal and vulnerable and to tell us your thoughts. We have Al who comes on here, Sunny Day. Y'all know Stephanie comes on. So I just want to thank all of you guys for once again joining us on this Thursday. Oh, the issue. Oh, she don't want the issue. Oh, girl, yeah. Yes, Kim Toy is here. Hello, Kim Toy.
Hello.
Girl, my oven went out and the parts are discontinued. We now need to purchase a new oven for $2,300, girl. Yes. My sister's refrigerator went out. She just bought it. She probably bought it about 3 years ago. Expensive. She bought a KitchenAid. Of course, because of the name, she thought that it was gonna be great or whatever. It only lasted 3 years. So of course her warranty is gone. And the part that she needs costs $1,000, but because of the KitchenAid thing, it's gonna cost $800 for them to put it on. I said, go buy a new refrigerator, girl. Just buy a new refrigerator. But she's like, but I paid that. I think she paid like $2,300 for it. It was a real expensive refrigerator. I'm like, it ain't doing you no good being a statue in your kitchen. So
I
yeah,
know
it's
a lot of the changes that they're making to electronics nowadays. I remember I walked inside of an appliance store with my mom, and I was like, I don't even know what these things are, because they got touch screens, they got all this stuff on there now.
yeah.
I was like, I thought it was
Just to pull it open, yes. I saw a real pretty refrigerator a couple of weeks ago. I was telling your mom about a couple of months ago, and it was in Belks. And
ooh.
I was like, why does Belks have like an appliance section now? It was beautiful though. It was beautiful. It was white and it had gold handles and drawers. It was gorgeous.
That
But
sounds like
yeah,
my fridge.
huh?
That sounds like my fridge.
Oh, does it?
Oh no, I don't got it yet, but I'm glad that the store is. I'm holding it for
Oh,
me.
oh, oh, you
My
found
fridge.
it. Yeah, so she says her oven is 36 inches, not a regular size. Oh, girl, yeah.
Is that big or small for an oven? I don't know.
Um, Girl, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what the regular size ovens are. So
Okay.
it must be a larger oven. Do you have like a chef's oven or something like that, Stephanie? All right, so I want us to go ahead and get started. Once again, thank all of you guys who are joining us this evening on Wani and Melissa's book club as we are reading the book Don't Settle for Safe by Sarah Jakes Roberts.
Mhm.
And so the regular size is 24 to 30. Okay, so hers is
Ooh,
larger.
that's good.
Yes, yes, because Stephanie be over there slinging no pots.
You be slinging them. You be like,
Slinging the pots, girl. Yeah, she's doing it. So I want us to go ahead and start by, for those of you who are not familiar with who we are, and I want to welcome all of our new people who are stopping by and to check us out. We really appreciate you being here. And so, Melissa, you want to go ahead and introduce yourself?
yes. Hi, my name is Melissa Ingrid Lawrence, and I am a lifestyle YouTube influencer. Um, Basically, it's a platform in which I'm going to be documenting my journey to freedom. I am actively looking for freedom mentally, spiritually, physically, financially, and emotionally. And as I'm going through that journey to growth, to becoming the next version of myself, which is why this book is so absolutely spot on. Um, this book club actually started because I was really super excited and just kind of researching into one thing. It was the first book that we were doing called Getting to I Do. I brought it to Miss Wani and I was just like, you would be such a great person for me to bounce all of this off of, because I'm learning all this information. I want to take knowledge and I want to experience, like, have it cast up against experience and wisdom. I want to be able to see what went on there. And the beauty of it is that after that book ended, this book started right after that. And for it to be about vision, exactly what it is that I am personally on a journey to, as well as Miss Wani, all of us are becoming. So this book is completely spot on. Getting back to my channel a little bit, the different categories of my life that I'm highlighting throughout it, which are the ones that I'm personally now getting a vision from God for, is around something I like to call the 7 F's of freedom. So it includes faith, family, finances, future, fitness, fashion, and fun. And I'm working on adding femininity in there now too. I've been learning a lot of really, really cool things about it. And as I've been implementing it for myself, I've noticed how much it's been benefiting me. And so that's stuff that I'm planning on sharing. I talked to Miss Wani a little bit earlier about this video I'm working on. Super excited. Will be posted soon.
Yes, yes. That's great. So, um, yeah, you guys know. For those of you who don't know who I am, my name is Wani, and that's my nickname is Wani. And so my channel is Wani's House. My channel is a lifestyle channel. Also, I talk about everything, especially for the more mature type woman who thinks she is and believes that she is um the Nista. So the Nista is she's a fashionista, so she's a cookanista, she's the decorator Nista. She's just doing all things because I believe that us as women and as we get older, we do a lot of things and sometimes we kind of forget ourselves. And so my channel is basically about, you know, just being you, wherever that is, wherever age you are, being comfortable in your skin and just being you. And so I focus on, like I stated, fashion, home decor. I do a lot of entertaining. Well, I haven't done as much entertaining as I did pre-panoramic, but because you know we can't say the other word on here, but because I used to have parties all the time. So, but I've started to slowly get back out there again and slowly begin to invite people into my home. And I take you guys along with me through my process. So, did Melissa stated, the little Gen Zer here came to me all bushy tailed and bright eyed and was like, "Oh, Miss Wani, I found this book."
By the way,
And
cheat code.
thought she did that this book had the code to relationships. And she was like, I want you to read it. And I think we should read it. We'll do a book club. You know, she just da 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 da. And I said, okay, I'm gonna get the book. And we quickly shut the little grasshopper down. We was like, slow down, grasshopper. That's not it. This is not it. And so myself, along with all of her aunties on here, we have been kind of, pulling her coattail about things. And so I'm just like I'm really happy that she thought enough of me while being around me to think that my views and my opinions were important to her. So the book that we're reading now, because I think we all go through this, especially since we are all different ages or whatever. And my the emphasis is like don't settle for safe. And I told you guys that I was just thinking, because there's things that I wanted to do in my life. I've done a lot of things, and a lot of things that I wanted to accomplish I have. But it's like as you get older, you begin to stop, you become real comfortable and you stop dreaming. And the end of last year it just hit me. I was like, girl, why you stop dreaming? And that's because I'm comfortable. And there's nothing wrong with being comfortable, but if you're comfortable, I feel like I'm not learning. So it is. So I thought this book was the perfect book because we settle in relationships, we settle in careers, we settle in life, we settle in like just far as us elevating in different areas within our lives. We might settle in our home. We just might just you just settle. And there's nothing wrong with that. But you don't want to just become so sedentary that you stop evolving. And so I just thought that this book would be the perfect book because it talks about all of that, all of
Mm.
that. So regardless of whatever stage we are in our lives, we can continue to strive and reach for a goal. So the goal that we may have may not be the goal that we had 20 years ago, might not be the goals that we had 10 years ago, might not even be the goals that we had yesterday, but we still need to have a goal and something to
Work.
attain for. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Something that you said that I thought was just super profound, that there's a difference between being settled and settling.
Yes.
So like you can, I believe that in every stage of life, like for example, I'm settled being who I am right now. I have peace being who I am right now, but it doesn't mean that I'm not, it doesn't mean that I'm kind of foregoing the next iteration, because like as the seasons change, you shouldn't be the same person at 10 that you are at 13. You shouldn't be the
Right.
person at 13 that you are at 23 or
Exactly.
30. You know, you're supposed to continue to get better. So I can be settled in who I am, settled in my identity in Christ, settled in being loved, honored, cherished, respected, really settled, you know, in who I am, but also not settling for what I'm capable of right now.
Right.
So I thought that was super dope. It was a
Well,
really cool way that you explained it.
thank you very much. Thank you very much. So we have Al here, and Denise said that, hi, ladies, I'm here for a bit. She has a conference call at 8. Well, Denise, thank
Thank
you
you
for
for joining.
joining us. We really appreciate you being here.
Listen,
And
honestly, we should be done at 8. So you'll keep us
oh,
honest.
yes, 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 you will. Okay. So we've gone through all of that. So it's 7:20. So we need to get on into this.
So we left off last time with chapter 2, and in it the author Miss Roberts, Jakes Roberts, Sarah Jakes Roberts. She talks about something called weeds in the lives of people. So she goes into the understanding that our lives can be illustrated as something similar to a garden. The cool thing about the Bible is that it often speaks about certain life parables in terms of farming and nature and things like that. So she talked about our inner environment, our heart, being kind of similar to like a garden and soil, and that throughout our lives, things are always being sown, regardless of whether or not it's good seeds or bad seeds. But you don't
Mhm.
necessarily always know until it really springs forth and you get to see if it's a flower or something beneficial to you, or it's a weed, something that can strangle you and stunt your growth. So with that, the author uses the imagery of a garden when she considers her inner environment, and that as we would diligently tend to the physical gardens we desire to be successful, we must also steward over our inner gardens with the same vigor. Take a second to consider what your inner environment looks like. And so the first question is, describe your garden, i.e., types of flowers. Is it abundant or is it scarce? These are some of the things to just kind of frame the conversation.
Mhm.
What does your inner environment look like? If you could paint the picture for somebody not inside, inside to see it for you.
See, my garden right now, because y'all know I'm a new green thumb. This purple thumb is slowly turning green, y'all. So, um, right now, it has like a lot of blooms in it. I would say I would reference it to my rose bush. So,
Mhm.
a couple of years ago, my lawn guy came and I asked him to shape my rose bush, and he massacred it. And it
Well,
hasn't been the same since because it's beautiful.
mhm,
So, but now I pruned it back. I
mhm.
pruned it back, and this spring, I mean, it has like really started to blossom all over again. So I have these really beautiful blooms of red, like a pinkish red
Mm,
roses. And so that part is really pretty. And so I have like flowers, like little pots of flowers, and plants in the back. So I would say that's sort of like my life right now, because I think it's blooming. I believe big things are happening, and everything that I'm putting out there in the atmosphere is going to come full circle. So I just see a lot of color.
Oh,
Mhm.
I like that.
Yes, yes.
I feel like that was such a really good way to describe it. Hey, Alila.
Hey, Leila.
I feel like that is such a really oh, hey, blue skies.
Blue skies. Hi, blue skies. Welcome.
Oh, hey, blue skies. I thought she said that her garden was blue skies, and I was like, I feel like there's
No.
something deep going on there, maybe. um, yeah, I feel like it was so cool, especially with what you were describing that's going on for you at work and the season that you're in right now. So just the fact that things are blooming because one area of your life is slowing down, which allows you to be able to refocus to do something else. It's shifting energies. So
Yes.
it's like, it's finding balance. So I think
Yes.
it's really cool. For
What about
myself,
you?
for myself personally, I feel like this is the best way that I can describe it. It's winter going into spring. So the flowers haven't exactly budded yet, but the little shoots are coming up.
Because you
And
got all these different ideas.
you get what I'm saying? And it's like there's so many seeds that were planted, and there's so many things that I've been like, it was so in a conversation that Miss Wani and I had just before we hopped on, she was saying that she's in like a down season a little bit right now. So things are slowing down. And I remember just thinking, like, and immediately the message came, it's not downtime, it's prep time. And so I was like, okay, so this is your prep time. And so a lot of what was going on the winter season just before this was a lot of preparation, a lot of learning, a lot of just really just being a student at life.
Right.
And as a result, I got a chance to get a whole bunch of like mentors and just people around me that I was like, oh, wow, I like that. I want to learn how to do that. Or, oh, wow, I like that. So it's like really just kind of picking and just really being intentional about this next person that I'm becoming. And so now it's like the shoots are coming up, but the buds haven't exactly blossomed yet. So it's like there's so much excitement right now.
Yes.
Like this level of excitement that I'm talking about over the phone. Like this was me in Maryland last week, like at this place called Coastal Flats. That's another video that I'm posting. This restaurant out there. I sat down at the bar and I was just talking to everybody around the entire bar, and it was just so fun because I thought about it and I was like, wow, that wasn't me a couple months ago. So the more intentional I've been about who it is that I'm becoming, I've just been this level of excitement just for everything. So yeah, that's how I would describe my garden. It's abundant, but you can't necessarily see it from the surface yet. It hasn't really come to bloom yet. So yeah.
Very nice. Yes, girl. Yes, yes, yes. Denise says, I feel like my life is blooming. I feel like my life is blooming right now. I've definitely been through the period where my garden was overgrown with weeds, but now it's blooming and I'm finding balance. Yes, that is great, Denise, because you sometimes we can feel like everything is so overwhelming. And like you said, it weeds at the end of the fall coming into the spring, and you go outside and you see like all the work that has to be done and all the weeds, all the overgrown everything. Yes.
Yeah.
Al says, my garden is full and flourishing. I'm happy with where I am, but I still want to drop more seeds because, like my garden, I do like watching things grow. All right, girlfriend. All right, Al, very good. All right, I tell you, I just.
I'm telling you, didn't Miss Al say that she was working on a book? Every time that she writes, it's just so eloquent.
Yes,
And
yes.
you can kind of see it as you're reading it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Al's books in the closet. We need you to pull your book out the closet, Al. Stephanie says, my garden is overgrown right now. I'm trying to get things in order.
And I respect that.
Mm-hmm. She said, "Well said, Melissa." Yes.
Thank you. And look,
Yes.
I get that because the same season that I'm talking about, it felt as if weeds came up before the shoots did. So it's like
Mm-hmm.
weeds were like stopping certain shoots from doing what it needed to do. So it was a lot of picking up weeds. Like, dang, I didn't realize that that aspect of my personality may not serve the future that I want to go to. So it's like, which one am I going to be connected more? Like, oh, I'm gonna keep it real and I'm gonna do it because I'm just like that, or do I want to let it go so that I can have something better? Oh,
Oh, she said, "You gonna make me cry." Oh. Oh my goodness, I just love her. Al is amazing. Yes.
so the next question is your inner environment as beautiful as you would like?
No.
You think that
No.
there's more potential there?
I know there's more potential there.
Okay.
I say that all the time. I told you I don't think my current jobs. I'm not. They're not getting the best of me. I know what I'm capable of, and so yes, I'm not there yet. So I know I still have some growing to do, and I need to figure out how to get to the next level.
Hmm. Okay. As far as is my inner environment as beautiful as I would like? I feel like it is, but it isn't at the same time. I feel like
Mhm.
I have an idea of what the harvest would look like, or or of what like the bloom would look like. I'm not there yet, so
Mhm.
no, right now it's not as beautiful as I would like, but because I know what's about to follow it up, or I have just
Mhm.
such like excitement about what's going to follow it up, I know it's beautiful to me. Like from
Yeah.
the outside, I don't think it would be like aesthetically pleasing, but
Mhm.
I think it's beautiful.
But you have a vision. You have a vision.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Look, we gonna leave that one there. We gonna leave that one there. I almost caught something. I felt it. I felt it.
Okay.
Oh, we're gonna leave that one there. The next one is she also compares weeds to areas in our lives where negative/slash non-beneficial thoughts and feelings are allowed to grow unintentionally. And then the scripture, guard your heart above all else because out of it the issues of life flow. The question is, consider what some weeds in your garden might be. I can go first this time because Miss Wani has been going first the last couple of times.
Yes, because I'm like,
So, some weeds in my garden. One of the weeds that came to mind first that was one of the messages that I got from Holy Spirit, especially as things have been transitioning, is that survival mentality and like that scarcity mindset that I had in the past was no longer going to serve me for where I'm going next. That
mm-hmm.
like while it might have been beneficial in one season to get me through what I needed to get through, keeping that type of mentality is only going to be a hindrance for where I'm going next. And
Mm-hmm.
so that's a weed that I had to pick up. And it wasn't just in like the mindset of just like finances. It was like because the way you do one thing, whether you realize it or not, is the way you do a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
So I found myself like hoarding certain food just so
Mm-hmm.
I knew that when I needed to come back around that it would be there. So it's like
Mm-hmm.
so I feel like there's a healthy level of like saving like you would with like a savings account and things like that, but it's like holding on to things unnecessarily for the
Mm-hmm.
fact of knowing that I had access to it.
Right.
And it kind of like reminds me of, like for example, where it says where um I think Jesus was talking about the lilies and how they don't, clothe themselves, they don't have to worry about all that kind of stuff and God provides for them. As well as like the raven. The raven was considered to be a very ugly, unclean bird in the Bible. Like it's
Mm-hmm.
one of the birds that you cannot touch. But God even provides for the raven, so he will also provide for you. So it's just
Mm-hmm.
so for me, that scarcity mindset was one that came to mind first that I had to learn how to uproot because it was going to stop me in the long run. So I guess that could be an example of a weed that I've had to take out from my garden recently.
Mm-hmm. Um, I still don't have a answer for it. I'm like, I'm like thinking, I know you've seen all the expressions on my face, and I'm like, girl, I don't know.
It's
I
cooking
don't
over
know.
there. It's cooking.
It is cooking. So let me see. Let's see what Dave said. Stephanie said, I must admit, no, it isn't. I have to grow more with God and study more. I have so much more I want to do and become. I know this storm will pass. I'm standing still. Yes.
And that's
Yeah.
the thing. Keep your eyes on that vision. Like it says that for the joy set before him, Jesus Christ endured the cross. So it's like when you have a vision of where you're going, when you have that joy to look forward to, it makes what you're going through easier. No,
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't make it easier. It helps you have joy while you're going through it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You know what? I can definitely relate to this one.
All my weeds
She
like
says, all my weeds look just like me because I'm the only one stunting my growth. Yes. And I can feel I totally that resonated with me because that's how I feel with this right now because I'm comfortable where I am, but I I aspire to do more, right? And so I'm fighting right now between like what should you do? What should you do next? How does that look for you? And so that right there, because and I've been even thought about that. I'm like, okay, do you stay in this place and just be content? And then because but I also don't want to be the one who is like, what if? What would have happened if I would have? I've never been that person. I've never been. I've always been the one. I would just move and do whatever. Think about the consequences later. I figure it out. So I totally can resonate with that part.
Just
Go
something
ahead.
about what Miss Al was saying. Can we go back to that comment, please?
About
It's like it's funny because it's like we are the weed, but we are also the rosebud at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Because all of our everything, a lot of qualities can be inherently neutral. It just has to do with the heart posture behind it. So it's cool because it's like with them all being you, you're both the solution and the problem.
Exactly. Exactly. But you know what I was just thinking about? But isn't a rose a weed until somebody names it? Isn't any flower it can be considered a weed until someone names it? Who
Or
says
it depends on, or it can be a weed depending on whose garden it is. Because if you don't like, let's say, English ivy, if English ivy grows in your backyard, you're gonna treat it like a weed. You're gonna treat it like crabgrass.
right? Yes, that's true.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's that's facts.
Yes. Okay, so wait. Denise, wait, I'm skipped this. Denise says, my environment still needs work. Some of the weeds include persons who cause me stress. Amen.
On my pieces of mine and disturb my peace.
Yes. She said, yes. So, yes. But I think we all have gardens like that. I believe there's always someone that causes us some type of stress or peace. She says, a rose is a weed if it's not where you want it. Yes, that is true.
That's big
Mm-hmm.
fact.
Mm-hmm.
And along the
Very,
same
very fact.
lines of weed, that um, along the same line of the weeds is the second question, which is what was the most recent weed that you have had to uproot in your life, and what did that process look like for you? Um, I know, like for me in situations, something that has been like a shift in my mind recently is viewing. I can't change another person. The only person I can change is me.
Mm-hmm.
The only person I have power or authority over is me. So it's, I know for me, especially when like I'm interacting with somebody and there's a lot of friction, for me, I'm looking at, is there something that I could be doing in this situation or do differently that could make this go differently? Because like they say that, you know, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. So for me, if I go to do something and every single time I'm getting met this way, I'm like, okay, I'm strategizing. How do I get the result I want out of this situation? Because it's like me going up against what? It's like me going up against like Floyd Mayweather. Like I'm not gonna
Mhm.
be Floyd Mayweather. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hire a boxer. I'm gonna get money and hire a boxer that's on par with Floyd Mayweather to have them fight. So,
You're right.
um, and
Let me see. Leela says, write down what you want, pray on it, and then be still. Work hard where God has you now. I wanted to work in higher ed years ago. I was at my last job for years learning all the skills I needed. They
yeah,
turned out to be perfect for my higher ed jobs. And I believe that.
and she
Yes,
works as she works for a university, so she's
I do.
exactly where she wanted to be.
Yes, yes. So, let me see. A recent weed. I don't know why this is so hard for me. I'm like,
I
what have I
know.
eliminated lately?
I
Huh?
remember the one that you mentioned recently.
What I say about me
Your
letting people go?
your need to people please. That's a weed.
Oh yes, yeah, that was being worked on for years. But yes, she has succeeded with that one. I'm good. Yes, so that was one. I was a people pleaser, and even if I didn't want to do it, I did it, and I'm so good with saying no. No, no can be my first name. Wani. No, Wani. Yes, yes, that's what it is.
Oh,
So
yes.
yes, no warning. Yes, no. Yes, I have no problem saying no to anybody and being okay with it.
You know what was so profound in what you said? You
What?
said no, Wani, yes. Because when you say
Yes,
no to other people, you're saying yes to you.
I'm saying yes. Exactly.
Oh, Wani, yes.
No warning. Yes, yes.
I'm telling you. So then moving on to the next one. Oh, actually we didn't. Well, the process to uproot it would be to first recognize that it's a weed, because you can't do something about something if you don't recognize what it is. So from my perspective, hey, Northern Dame.
Northern Dame. Hello.
Um, so for example, it would be hard for me to find and uproot a dandelion if I didn't know what a dandelion was. So
Mhm.
first, the way that I identify and uproot weeds is to first recognize that that it's a problem. Two, think about what I'm doing that contributes to it being something that affects me in my life. And
Mhm.
then three, determine what boundaries I need to set so that
Mm,
uh,
very
the
much.
boundary isn't being like unnecessary, so that like I'm not unnecessarily in that area to revert back to past mistakes. I also
Mhm.
ask for accountability. So part of the reason why, you know, like for example in YouTube, I was telling Miss Wani that sometimes, you know, I get so many things and I've like, until I can see it in my head, it's hard for me to make a step forward because I'll overthink it so much that I'll talk myself out of it.
Mhm.
So the cool thing about having accountability is if you tell people you want to do something, they can help keep you like you said this, you said this, you said
This
that
is
this is something that you wanted to do. So they help you stay on that path. And then lastly, set up some type of like yeah, so that's how I personally go about trying to uproot those weeds. Is there anything that somebody would like to share about that?
yeah. And I do something similar. I definitely believe in taking accountability and saying, okay, what part did I play, or what part do I play in whatever it is I'm trying to do, my success, whatever the case may be,
Mhm.
and how can I um, how can I overcome whatever it is that the roadblock may be.
Mhm.
So and I think about things like that, even with other people. Okay, what's the roadblock? And
Mhm.
then how can can we get over the roadblock? Is there something that we can go through, or do we just need to change our whole route to get to where we want it to go? And
Mm-hmm.
so um I'm definitely one who I definitely take accountability. That's like I stated before. I think about why am I like this now? Because I've never been like this, hesitant. I ain't never been hesitant about nothing. But that goes back to me being comfortable. And what I say about being comfortable, you're not growing.
Mm-hmm.
So, so those are the types of things I do, and to sit here in myself, and it just be going on. I just talk about, I used to have like the devil and the angel on my shoulders, and they be going back and forth, going to get that, going to do that. No, you don't want to do that. So that's what I have, and I have it in my head, and I just be talking to myself, well, no, but why are you like that? And then I think about why I maybe I'm I'm moving a little bit differently than I did before. And it could be, once again, I'm not the same person I was then. My circumstances are totally different then, but this isn't a circumstance type issue. This is comfortability. And I pinpointed that's what it is. So I need to get over that part.
Honestly, that makes so much sense. And I realized that in a way, it's hard to be able to see all of this stuff on the outside of you. Like something
Mhm.
I said earlier, right? Like for example, like the word says, for the joy set before him, he was willing to endure the shame of the cross. So the shame of whatever that we're experiencing right now, and whatever, I learned something recently. Apparently, 90% of career ending injuries aren't actually career ending. Like the person can rehab to get back to the same level that they were playing at before, but
Mhm.
the pain of that process of the rehab and everything, it's too painful for them to
Mm.
or through it. So they just end their careers. So it's like when I heard that, I was like, so is that also something that we tend to do? Yay. I was like, why is that always something that I was like, is that also something that we tend to do? Just like, okay, I know that this is an area of my life that could potentially keep me away from what I want to do.
Mhm.
Is what I want to do worth it enough for me to go through this process to get it?
Right.
If the
Right.
answer is yes, you probably just got to leave it alone because there's
Mm.
no sense of have doing it.
Yes.
You're gonna be giving out all that energy for like no reason. And
Mhm.
something that like just going back to it, like where there is no vision, the people perish. Like once you get a vision of what you want, it's easy to know what to do and what not to do. Which reminds me, I wanted to do I have a second to like show the vision planner?
Yeah. Yeah. Go ahead.
So there we go. I wanted to look at it because I'm not sure if everybody got to see it the last time. This is a planner that came as a similar experience that Miss Wani was talking about a second ago, where she was saying that in her in where she is right now, there's growth and things that need to happen, and the thing is the same systems that worked for the previous her isn't working for the her that she is right now. And I
Mhm.
went through a very similar experience. I was somebody who was super organized, and to the point where like I could go into my iPhone right now and show you my calendar from 2013 and you will see exactly what I was doing hour by hour. Like I was so scheduled. And when I started my faith journey, one of the first messages that I got from God was that if I was going to be a vessel for him, he wasn't going to go at my schedule. And so this planner came as a result of having to learn how to be spontaneous while also having a level of structure and organization, because that's where I thrive. And so this is my vision planner. Can everybody see the screen?
Yeah.
Okay, so this along the top, it's the different sections. Along the side is the calendar. It's the months. So you start off here in vision. I give like 12, I have like 12 sections here for people to put in the different areas of their life. So for example, my channel talks about the 7 F's of freedom. So faith, family, finances, future, fitness, fashion, and fun. So I would put all those things there because those are aspects of my life that I hold as being valuable. So as I said, this past week has been just really Holy Spirit downloading a lot of what that vision for the next season looks like. So it starts off with vision, then it goes to action steps. You write out some tangible things that you can do that will help you get to that next level. After you do that, you move to brain dump. And the brain dump area is where you put the things that weren't exactly a part of your vision, but you still have to do because you're a human being and you have to like adult, like pay your taxes or, send off mail and do different things like that. So you write down everything for the weeks, and there's enough in here for every week of the year, depending on the different months that you're in. And then you go to your schedule portion. In this, mind you, all of this is like, it's like you can write on it if you have an iPad and an Apple Pencil, if you have like, or just like a tablet and a stylus. But if you have a phone and you have a stylus as well, you can utilize it the same way. Everything in here is hyperlinked. I'm actually currently making one right now for Miss Janae, who's on the book club. I would, if she's okay with it, I would like to, once it's done, I'll show it off here as well. And then you have all the months here, and then you go to notes. Notes is a place where you kind of write little messages to yourself about what you've accomplished and how you plan on continuing to succeed. So for example, I'm the kind of person, once I zone in really deep to learn something, I'm in it, and then I'm on to the next thing, and I tend to forget what I did. So this is a section where I could write down little cheat codes to myself in case I need to go back and learn from a skill that I did before. And then you have journal, where you can just kind of, actively write about what your experiences are as you're doing things, or the different ways that you're growing. You can write down your thoughts, feelings, aspirations, and things. Ooh, last thing that I forgot to show is this here. So this is a section where you write down, based on what your overall vision is, what steps you can do. These are the different things from the steps that you can do each month to get you closer to that. Next is what did I do well? It's a section where you can congratulate yourself for the work and the effort that you put in for the previous month. What do I need to improve? This is the area where you are, where you have self-actualization, where you have self-evaluation as well. And you're able to write down where you could have done better. What the biggest lesson that you learned was, you can write that there. And then what you're grateful for, because as we're moving and as we're, looking at ourselves through a critical lens, sometimes we can always look at things as being half empty as opposed to half full. So this grateful section can help you make sure that you're filling that cup up so that you can have a positive perspective on what you're doing. And then the last section of the vision aspect is, how can you be better next month? So it's kind of game planning about how you can take certain lessons that you learned and ways that you can improve and implement it for the next month. This was a vision of love. I'm super excited about it. I'm selling it for $20. Message the email that I'm going to put in the chat. Yeah, and that was it. I wanted to show it. And one thing that I'm going to be doing as well, as alongside of these questions for the vision planner, going over how that the vision planner, in addition to like the book itself, utilizing the two to be able to get to that next version of yourself, because that's actually like literally what I'm doing right now, and it's been working for me. So
very good.
Miss Wani, it doesn't allow me to put my email in the chat. Can I text it to you, and then can you add it to the chat?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. I had to leave. Y'all furry nephew was I heard something, bam, bam. He's trying to jump through the window at the kids outside. So I had to run downstairs to see what that was. Your Aunt Leela said, did you create that, or is it an app? I like one.
Oh, I created myself. Like every aspect of it. Like I did everything from the buttons to the font to the color scheme to like the questions to the layout, everything. Yeah, I did everything hyperlinked myself. Yeah.
You
I
see
was
that?
going for about 2 weeks. I told you, I'm like a dog with a bone. When I get it, I'm like, oh, let's.
Northern Dane says many people lay on scripture but don't put the action in to certain ones. I must agree to that. Gotta put the movement in, not lie dormant. Exactly. You have to. Yes, you have to put the work in. It's just nothing is just gonna happen to you because as people, some people believe like if you just pray for something, it's just gonna happen. You also have to. You got to do something about it. You got to put the work in.
Like it says, faith without works is dead.
It's that exactly. Yes. Um. Is this only a critique, not getting into what the author says? I don't know. Is this only a critique, not getting into about what we're doing? Mm, we're actually this is it's sort of like a critique, but also, and we're also getting into what the author's saying. So it's a little bit of both, but
Mhm.
we're also introducing like our life experiences or into this. So we're asking you for your input based off of the questions that we asked from the
Mhm.
book.
So essentially, we put up the book club questions, and based on the reading, these are supposed to help, like provoke thought. It's supposed to be like thought provoking conversation based on what was read.
Yes. Okay. She said, okay. Yeah, y'all look furry nephew. There he go again. So y'all gonna hear him, but I don't know if y'all gonna hear the boom again. So I'm like, somebody trying to come in the house. No, he's trying to get to the neighbors through the window. So go ahead.
So the next statement is this. In addition to dutifully uprooting weeds, the author also advises us to create a proactive system to ensure that new weeds cannot take root. For Sarah Jake Roberts, her husband is an invaluable resource for her. That is because before we can uproot a weed, we need to first recognize what detrimental actions are weeds like. No, what detrimental actions.
Are
Yeah,
we right?
yeah. How do you identify weeds in your life? That's the first question.
Well, I think the first way that one can identify a weed is what is making you uncomfortable, whether it's people, whether it's situations. I believe you definitely have to go by how you are feeling, how your soul is feeling. If you are feeling uneasy, then that person, that surrounding, that environment is a weed. Like one thing I know about myself in meeting people, I am really big on energies and
Mhm,
how people make me feel, right?
mhm,
And so I know a trigger for me or something um that makes me feel uncomfortable about people is I don't like I don't want to say I don't like. Let me change that. I am uncomfortable around controlling people.
mm,
Mm-mm. Because I don't like people who have like controlling type spirits and want to kind of tell you what to do, things like that, and be over everything. I don't like people. I don't like those types of situations, and I don't like those types of situations around me.
mm,
So my way is when I feel like that or I get that type of energy from people, I pull away because I don't have to subject myself to any of that because I'm in control of this. I'm not
mm,
going to have any outside person being in control of how I'm feeling because my view and my feeling is when you come to me, I want you to be safe, I want you to be comfortable and all of that. So I let you move however you move because you're your own person, but I don't want anyone from the outside coming in and dictating my space according to what they want.
okay, I feel that. Um,
Mhm.
do you think that? Hmm. I think because there's a lot of there was something really cool that you said there. Like all of it was cool, but something that I heard was that because you are a light, people can be attracted to that. Kind of like moths to a flame.
Mm.
It's not a problem that people that sometimes people who are toxic can be attracted to you. The real problem is why you let them stay. So what in
Yes.
part in what you were saying was that you let people move how they want to move.
Mm-hmm.
And from there, you see how close or far you can keep them to you based on the way
Mm-hmm.
that you allow them to show up in their lives, or
Mm-hmm.
the way that you get to observe them showing up around you. So that was deep.
Yes. Yeah. Well, thank you. I learned that like in my 20s about, a person like that. And I was just like, I don't like how this is feeling. And like
Mhm.
I told you, and like I stated to you guys a couple of weeks ago, I will drop a relationship or a situation and won't give anybody an explanation. I just won't deal with it.
Mhm.
And because I just don't feel like I owe an explanation as to why I don't want to be around you. I don't owe you nothing. I just think that whatever it was that we were supposed to get from each other, we got it or whatever, and it's time for me to move on. That doesn't necessarily mean that I don't have to be your friend, and everybody is not gonna be my friend. I don't have to have that. So um yeah, I learned that a long time ago. And my sister was like, I would really wish I would have learned that or picked that up from you back then, because she was one. I need to have her on here, but she was one. She cherished friendships, and and even when people did her wrong, she would forgive them and try to hold on to them. I'm the total different. I'm total opposite. I used to tell her, God forbid that God would take me home before you, or whatever the case may do be. I said, but in the event that He does, can you please make sure you have some of your friends at my funeral, because I don't want it to be empty. Because I just cut off everybody. My circle, it's still small. Although I talk about my friends now, but still, that's probably only about 15 people in the room.
So when you said that,
Yeah.
right? But I think
Mhm.
what's an even better, like, yes, of course, you want to have people around you that you love and care about. But then I also think about the fact that what can be more beautiful or more honoring than being around nature, which is beautiful, and having the stars above you to see you off. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yes, yes,
yes, it's cool to have people, but it's even more important to have your peace. So,
yes, exactly. Very, oh my gosh, yes,
and
peace
what
to me
you
is everything.
And what you said earlier reminded me of something that I read from Tupac recently, which was that just because you've lost me as a friend doesn't mean that you've gained me as an enemy. I still
Right.
want to see you eat, just not at my table. So,
Oh my goodness,
and
yes.
I just when you said that, I thought about that Tupac reference that I was reading recently, and I was just like, whoa, like that is exactly like what he was saying.
That is exactly how I feel, because I don't wish no ill will against you,
Mhm.
but I just don't want to be with it. I don't want to deal with all that. Negative and manipulative people make me uncomfortable, because they spend so much time trying to convince you to think the way they think and try to make you feel bad for not seeing things their way. Yes.
Mhm.
Totally agree with that.
Mhm.
Yes.
Which follows up into the second one, which is how are you being intentional about tending to your garden in a way that deters weed growth?
Most don't want what a friend entails, Oh yeah. Yeah. There, a lot of most, yeah, I totally get what you're saying. You're right. And so that's why you have to choose your people who you have around you very wisely, and make sure that they aren't people who, what do they call them, dream killers or soul seekers, because some people just can drain you, and or just people who just dump. You can find people who just, every time you speak to them, they want to just dump their mess into you. And so that's one thing I would like, no, that go back to that other question up there. I don't like people to dump their stuff on me. I'm there for anybody or whatever, but every time I talk to you, it's a woe is me story and you're hurting and all this. I don't want to deal with that. I don't want to hear that because I don't bring that to you. So
Mm.
I don't want you to dump it to me because I feel like then your energy or all your bad stuff is being left with me in my spirit. I don't want that.
Mm.
And I do believe that everything is, it's all mental. So I don't want to mentally take any of that in.
I feel like something also to mention for an individual that tends to lean more towards sob stories is my question then would be,
Bye, Stephanie. Good night. Thank you for joining us. And I'm
oh,
sure Denise is gone also. So
she keeping
thank
us
you,
honest.
Denise.
It is 8 o'clock, keeping us
It is
honest.
8 o'clock. Yes, we're gonna go to we started at what 7:20, so we're gonna go to 8:20.
Okay. What you were saying a second ago, what were you saying? We were speaking.
About dumping people who negative energy, negative woe is me.
Oh yes, for me, when it comes to people that just like every story is a woe is me.
Bye, Aunt Leela.
Hi, thanks, Aunt Leela. Hopefully, I'll text you my email address so that I can get the details. I would love to make you a planner. It's gonna be super cute. So and thank you for coming tonight. Oh, it's trying to leave me again. Oh, it's where you're shifting your perspective and your focus to. Because in every bad situation, there's also good. There's always
Mm-hmm.
like an equivalent level of good. It just depends on what you're focusing on. Like you
Mm-hmm.
could focus on, boom, right? In my life, right? I could focus on the fact that the place that I was working recently shut down, and and the place that I was working with recently shut down, or I can focus on the fact that it's now opened me up to put everything that I've learned about business and entrepreneurship to in real life,
Mm-hmm.
that I can apply it. So it's
Mm-hmm.
like all these years I've been learning this thing, and now I'm able to actually, I have now the time and the space available to really put my effort towards it. So,
Mm-hmm.
it depends on what you want to focus on. You can either focus on the good aspect of it and really put your energy into being positive and going in that direction, or you can just continue to just kind of, it's what you choose to focus on that you'll amplify in your life.
Right. And then Al says, and then you gotta go to somewhere else to get filled up again. Girl, yes, they just done zapped all of my energies. Notre Dame said they're called energy zappers. Girl, yes. So, Denise, she was still here. As we age, our circles do get smaller. Some circles are meant for certain seasons, and it's okay. Oh, yeah, some people drain me. They always have a problem that's
It's
not their
never their
fault.
fault.
Oh,
It's
my goodness.
wild.
She said, bye. Bye, Denise.
Bye. She could also just be like, bye, Felicia.
Yes, yes, bye. Yes, yes, please. Yes, nothing is ever their fault. Yes.
I'm telling you, if I hear a story and every single story you had no absolute fault and you were the victim of circumstances and everybody's just conspiring against you, I'm
Yes.
like,
Yeah. And what's the
you
common
are the common
denominator?
denominator.
Yes. What's the common denominator here? Yes.
So the next one is Sarah Jakes Roberts suggests that the best way to actively look for and uproot weeds is to practice humility and grace. Humility to recognize potential character defects, and grace to forgive yourself as a result of the way those defects may have affected yourself and others. When I read that one, I had to stop and read it again.
Mm.
Well, I got the audiobook. So I went
Mm-hmm.
back and I pressed,
Listen.
back to listen to it
Yes.
again. Um, and it's just the way that she explained humility. So she describes it as humility is to recognize potential character defects, and grace is to forgive yourself as a result of the ways those defects have affected yourself or others. Have a good night, Miss
Have
Denise.
a good night, Denise. Thank you. Thank you for joining us.
And it's so cool because it does take a level of humility to recognize where you went wrong
Mm-hmm.
or how you've contributed to a situation. It forces you. So like there's this thing, I forget what it's called, but I learned it where people have the higher likelihood to give excuses and be easier on themselves for
Mm-hmm.
the same situations that they're usually more critical of other people for. So it's
Mm-hmm.
like, oh wow, you took that bag of chips, you're a thief, versus
Mm-hmm.
you could take the bag of chips like, I was just hungry. Like there's a way.
Yes, yes, yes.
We do tend to hold other individuals to a higher standard than we do ourselves. And I feel like it's only when we can have that same level of standard for ourselves, or even hold a higher standard for ourselves than we set for those around us, that we can really have peace. But it does require a level of humility to be able to see yourself in the mirror plainly for who you are, not just kind of over romanticize and idealize who you are, but just really looking at it and just being like, well, I did go wrong there. Like, I probably shouldn't have
I
said
did
that.
that. Yeah.
I knew that he was sensitive about that. I probably shouldn't have brought that up. It's just he made me feel vulnerable, so now I'm gonna make him cry. So
Right. We're gonna take that a step further. Yes.
So it's like I heard people, like the Michelle Obama quote, when they go low, we go high. I've heard people say when they go low, I go to hell.
Oh my God, we're going lower. Yes.
So it's just like you just have to. I feel like the whole humility thing was just such a deep piece when I read about it. So the first question is, what does humility mean to you?
For me, I think humility is me being able to look at a situation, regardless of the person, and seeing myself in it, because I could easily be in that situation. Whatever it is, it could be me. I'm not obsolete from anything. And I also have to think about how I and my actions make other people feel. Because once again, I go off of feelings. So, so my intention is never to have anyone feel any type of way, but I also don't believe in masking my feelings to save your feelings, because I'm not doing myself any service. I'm not being true to myself, but I still need to be honest and open to your situation could easily be my situation.
That's something I had to learn recently. That was that. I feel like you just kind of glossed over that one, but that's not an easy one to learn. How to be able to prioritize your own feelings over somebody else's. I realized that I was the master of putting other people's feelings and other people's just everything before myself. And it was just mad. It was just such. I realized that part of it might have been, no, it's not even might have been. It definitely came from the idea that I trusted myself with people more than I trusted God with them. Because it's like, if I trust that when I do things, whether or not they result good, like whether or not they can objectively be viewed as good for myself from my own perspective, that I trust that God, because I serve a good and faithful God, will make sure that I get through it well. You know what I'm saying? That good will come out of it. So if I believe that God will be there for me, why am I always trying to put guardrails and stop people from doing things around me to try to protect them? So if God show up for me that way, why wouldn't God show up for them that way? Because he's their God too. So I realized that part of it came from the fact that I truly believe that I could
fix it.
It's kind of arrogant that I could do better, trying to keep them in line. Like, let God do it. Like, it wasn't like my mind being like, oh, I can do this better. But by default, the actions that I'm making is saying that at the same time. That I believe that I can protect them better, that I believe that I can guide them better. You know what I'm saying? So it's just kind of stepping back and allowing it to happen.
Yes. But man, you just don't know the gist of it all. You're quite young still. Yes. And that is what we have been trying to say to her. Not that these discussions can prohibit her from hitting guardrails or not making mistakes, because she's going to make mistakes. We know we all made mistakes when we were her age, and heck, we probably made mistakes last week, last month, yesterday. And but not to be deterred by her mistakes, not to be blinded by mistakes, because she's newly getting out there and dating and things like that. So we're just trying to keep her kind of open and aware to what may be coming to her. So I totally understand, because we definitely don't want her to be um not blinded, don't want to be naive to what is out there and what may be happening, what could happen. Okay, Al says humility to me is being accountable for my actions, whether I feel like I was right or wrong, and able to come back and let you know where I went wrong. Might take a few days, but okay. She was like, "Look, give me a minute. Let me marinate on this. If I'm wrong, I'll come and tell you I'm wrong. I'm sorry. I
For
can
real.
tell you where you kind of lost me at. But if I'm right, you
Left
need to
off
be
lunch.
yes. You need to be prepared, Mr. or Mrs. Yes. I agree with that.
Um,
Yes.
and then what does grace mean to you?
Oh, what does grace mean to me? Grace is almost just similar to what Al just saying. Being okay with making a mistake, admitting that I made the mistake, and being okay with saying I did this.
Mhm.
This is what I did. I'm sorry, and we can move on, or we can't move on. But I do believe that first you have to be comfortable enough to know and to admit that you're sorry, or whatever the case may be. So, and not beating up somebody about a mistake, and bashing people over their heads or whatever, because we all make mistakes, but everyone has a hard some well, not everyone, some people have a hard time saying this is what I did, and I'm sorry about how it made you feel, or how whatever the case may be, but I did this. It was me. This
Mhm.
was the decision I made. It was me. So
Mhm. I feel it's really cool because it's about being accountable to yourself about what you did,
mm-hmm,
while also am I like so while I appreciate somebody coming to me and apologizing for what they did, for me the best way to show me that you're really sorry for what you did is not doing it again. So it's
mm-hmm,
like, yes, being accountable to where you went wrong, but also not letting it just be lip service and making an effort, like doing what it takes to not go down that same path again.
mm-hmm.
That would be that's a real apology.
Yes.
um I was here on your last scope and you guys didn't get into the book. I haven't read it. Um hmm. Well, you know what? I guess I could ask. So I know that when it came to getting to I did read more, sections and then ask the
Mm-hmm,
questions afterwards. For this one, I was leaning more towards because I wasn't necessarily sure. I didn't, you know what? I should have gotten feedback. I wasn't necessarily sure how, like with all of that reading, if people were really following and all that kind of stuff, or it was just me kind of talking at the camera. So
mm-hmm,
for these book club questions, I gave out the readings and it was just like, okay, people read it, now we can just kind of talk about it, kind of thing. So the questions were more geared towards people who have already read it. So is reading it on camera more of what would be better for this, or just kind of asking the questions based on having the understanding that people have read it?
well, I think that with this, because when we first started off with getting to I do, or was it this, it was getting to I do, we read the introduction or something, but then someone came on, was like, well, nobody wants you to read, come on here and read the book. So, and that's why I was like, well, we can just, we weren't reading the book, we were just reading the introduction. But I do think that because we give out the questions ahead of time, then everyone come back on here and kind of discuss what the questions were based off of the readings or whatever. So that's why we do it that way, because we kind of agree that no one wants to come on and just be reading the book
Mhm.
online.
And also,
And
if
she
you
says
wanted,
no, not reading the book. Oh, wait. Okay, she says, so the focus is on you guys' opinions, it seems. It's focused based off of our opinions and our experiences based off of the questions from the book.
So we read the material from the book. These are questions that I had based on reading the book, and then we discuss it based on our own life experiences.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so Al says, I feel like if you meant what you said to or about me, then I don't expect an apology. But if you are sincere in your apology, then it shouldn't happen again. Oh, definitely. I definitely believe that. Now, if you're sincere in your apology, it should not happen again because now you're aware.
But then also, you wouldn't want a fake apology, because if the person truly meant what they said the first time, you don't want them to walk it back now.
Yeah, but then that goes back to, so why are you changing your why are you changing? What
So,
what what
so based on what Miss Al was saying, I feel like if you meant what you said to or about me, then don't expect an apology. But if you are sincere in your apology, then it shouldn't happen again.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, if somebody says something that offends you, but they truly meant it, don't come and apologize now because you don't truly mean that apology.
Right.
But if you do apologize, then don't make it happen again. It makes sense, Miss Al.
Yeah, it does. It does.
And then the next one is, this is actually a quote from the book. So,
Mm-hmm.
other opinions can never offer true confidence and self acceptance. Like a drug that offers a temporary high, validation from others offers a
Okay.
distraction from the insecurities that scream within us. The cure is honest self examination.
Mm-hmm.
When I read that, I was like, that is real, because you can get a lot of feedback from a lot of different people. So, like, as we were reading Getting to I Do, it was the lady's opinion and it was me sourcing more people's life experiences. And then based on what I heard, sit down, meditate with it, think about what is for me, and then start to implement certain things and see what works for me and what doesn't, so that I can
Mm-hmm.
make it my own. So as people are getting information, as I'm getting information, um, it's important to it's been important for me to not just like, okay, this person said do this, I'm gonna do this. This person said do this, I'm gonna do this. Figuring out
Yes.
what is mine and what works for me, what is, what I'm saying, what fits me,
Mm-hmm.
and being okay with what the consequences and benefits of that are. And connecting that to what she was saying. So, like a drug that offers a temporary high, validation from others offers a distraction from the insecurities that scream within us. So having somebody validate certain things, although you know that it doesn't fit with who you are as a person, can make you be more comfortable with allowing certain longer than it needs to.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so then the question is, um, how has there ever been a time in your life where you found yourself relying on the validation of others?
Well, of course. You sometimes when you're growing up, you rely on the validation of your parents.
Mm,
Sometimes when you're dating, you look for the validation of the person who you might be dating.
mm,
Um, you can even look for a validation at work. There are some people who, when they work, some people when they are working, they need like validation. You're doing such a great job. Oh, you're the best at this, whatever. Some people, they don't need none of that, um and so it can either motivate you, and if they're not getting that, then they're sort of like they don't feel like they are being they're really getting, hey Vandessa, they don't feel like they're being fulfilled, so they're mm, I don't know about validation from others. For me, I'm not necessarily like that type of person. I told you I don't care about, I'm not competitive at all. I don't that I don't care about any of that. So me being the best at something, but I do like when people say, "Oh, you did this, and this was really really nice." It's nice to hear it, but I don't look for it.
mm.
Hey, Vandessa, how's your dad? Vandessa's dad. Vandessa just her dad just had a 70 something birthday. I can't remember. I don't remember what the cake was now, Vandessa. That's the over 50 brain happening right now. I want to say it was like 75, 78, something like that. Vandessa said, "Hi, Melissa."
Hi, Miss Vandessa.
What about you, Vanessa? What do you have to say about that? Guys, chime in the chat. Let us know what you're thinking. His 70th birthday. Okay, I knew it was somewhere around there.
But I'm
Yeah.
thinking that there's a difference between relying on validation from others and appreciating validation.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like if you're relying on the validation of another person, then nothing you do is okay with you or sits right with you unless it's co-signed.
Mm-hmm.
And there's going to be times that you get inklings from Holy Spirit or what you call, or some people call it like intuition, on what you should be doing next and how you should be moving. So it's like the more that you rely on the validation of others, the less you can actually know what that voice is telling you to do.
So that's your thought.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think relying on the validation of others can be very dangerous.
It definitely can be very dangerous. Definitely. All right. Well, you want to get through the last piece right here,
Okay.
and then we can shut it down.
Yes. So the next question is, was there a notable moment when you decided not to rely on the validation of others? So I guess another way I could say that is, was there a notable moment in your life where you chose to listen to yourself more than you were listening to the opinions of others?
Mm. I don't know. I don't know. I Okay, you answer that question.
So I guess a really good notable moment for me would have been, and I feel like it comes in stages.
Mm-hmm.
So like there's different areas of my life that I've had that happen in. So when I was in college, just kind of shutting out the opinions of others in regards to the way that I had to show up as a person. So like in
Mm-hmm.
college, it's kind of cool for people to like try the least and like doing things, or like not necessarily in academics, but just not like showing up and presenting themselves in a way. Well, I guess I'll just talk more about me, right?
Mm-hmm.
So in college, I would like quote unquote dress up every day, right?
Mm-hmm.
But like, people just be like, Melissa would be wearing high heels to like nothing. But it's just like, like if I
Mm-hmm.
felt like dressing up and if I felt like being cute, I did that. And
Mm-hmm.
certain, events or stuff like that, they'd be like, this is just like a cookout, you didn't have to da da da. But it's like I wasn't doing it based on what I thought other people were going to wear. I did it
Mm-hmm.
based on what I really wanted to wear.
Right.
And then also, if I show up to an event looking better than the person that hosted the event, whose problem is it? Is it mine or yours? You knew
That's
you were
right.
coming to the event.
You
You knew
know who?
you invited me.
Yes. Yes.
So, yeah, so that was one moment where I had to, just recognize that this is just the way that I like to show up. Or there'd be times where, although I don't feel the best, I'll make it an extra effort to look really good, because
Mm-hmm.
I'm out and I get to see the way that I look and just know the way that I feel in the clothes that I'm wearing. It just makes me feel good. So
Mm-hmm.
that's one instance in which I had to learn to listen to my own voice instead of just kind of starting to down dress and play and like low play things just
Yes.
of other people's comfortability.
Mm-hmm. 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 That's a good one. I still don't have anything. What about you guys? Um, Al says all validation is not good. Some people gas you up in one are just to tear you down in another. If you're in constant need of validation, then what happens when they stop? Exactly. Then you go and start seeking all types of approval from other people, and you can't live your life based off of other people's approval,
Yeah,
because you're never going to be happy with, you're never going to be happy, and you begin to lose yourself.
exactly. Something funny that I heard was if your self-esteem is attached to the opinions of others,
Mm.
your your self-confidence is gonna go up and down faster than a jackrabbit on a pogo stick.
Those sayings like that, I was like, oh my goodness.
I love a southern person, I'm telling you.
I'm like, that is like so southern. I that yeah, that's such
The
a
imagery, you can tell a jackrabbit on a pogo stick, up and down, up and down,
yeah,
up and down.
like really. What's that? Onomatopoeia?
No, I think that might just be like descriptive language.
Oh yeah, yes.
Thank you all so much for thank you so much for just the input and just being here and vibing with us for this time. Um, it's my and God's check mark and no one else's. That's
Mm-hmm. That's me. I always walk in the room like I'm the baddest thing coming. My friends used to make me walk in the club first. All right now. Oh yeah, cause we already know about them legs. She done told us about them legs. Those legs get you in trouble. Those legs probably got them into the club free. Come on in. Come
oh
on
my,
in. Hey,
come
come
on.
on in.
It's like, come on, Lady Legacies.
Yes, yes, exactly. Yes. Well, I enjoyed this tonight.
I
I,
did.
I did. You guys have been awesome. I really enjoy all of you guys chiming in with your perspectives, and it really enhances the conversation
Mhm.
here as we get through this book.
Yes.
I am I am really enjoying the book. I think Stephanie said she's been listening to it on audiobook also, as well as Denise, and they're really enjoying the book. So
Yeah.
I'm glad that that was that you guys are. I do have a girlfriend. She's an author, and she wrote a book. This is her second book, and I thought it would be great to maybe one of the books coming up or whatever, we actually invite her on here, and we can go through the book, and then we can ask her questions and go back and forth. I think that would be a really good way to also do this. We can get some authors on here. Al, so we need you to dust off your copy and get it out there. Yes. So I think that'll be good too. I think she would definitely like that. And she wrote two books. Um and I don't know, but we'll see about having her come on just to give like an introduction or whatever of them, and we'll just figure out which one we want to talk about.
That sounds absolutely amazing. I know that as we're doing this book club, we definitely want to make it, like collaborative and want everybody to enjoy their time while they're here. So if you have any, just like suggestions or different things, we'll
Hmm.
definitely, see how it works, try it out and things like that because, something I'm more committed to the results than I am like the process of how to get
Yeah,
there. So
exactly.
I said that before, that it's good to be committed to the mission and not necessarily the route. So if there's a better way to do it, I'm open to doing that. And feel free to share
Hmm.
your opinions on how to be able to get that done.
I totally agree.
Something that I'll take away from this one is trying to incorporate more of the text in there so that if I'll see what that looks like. I'll see what that looks like.
Hmm.
Yes.
Yes. And once again, this is little grasshopper's idea, and this is her vision, and so I am just here to I'm here to hold her, her coattail, and to, oh my goodness, don't. And I thank all of you guys for coming back every week. Vandessa, Stephanie, Al, um, Sunny Day, all of you guys coming in, and all the new people who come on here also. And and yeah, just spending an hour. Well, today was an hour and An
And
hour,
how
like 15, 20 minutes, hour and a half. But thank you for carving out a little piece of your evening to hang out with us as we discuss. Um, not
so
don't settle for safe, girl. I was about to say getting to I do. I better not bring that book back up.
she said, "Thank you for joining us today as we read Buy One Get One Free."
Yes, I will get one free. Exactly. Exactly. Um, V says, okay, so wait. Al says, I like that small, intimate way this book club feels like I'm sitting in a room with my girlfriends. Cause you are. Cause you are. Oh,
The
I
exact
just
feeling that I
love.
was looking for.
Oh, woo woo.
That is the exact feeling. Oh my God, girls.
Yes. Yes. Sunny Day say, see you next week. Be safe. Be kind to each other. Exactly. Be kind to each other. You guys, have you doing anything for Juneteenth? There's all type of concerts going on here in the A. So I'm trying to get the mister out there. So, but you guys be safe out there. Have a great weekend. V says they appreciate you. Oh, V, you can't be speaking for me.
Well, you can
But
speak for me. I appreciate
oh my
y'all.
goodness, that's because she your mama.
You know it.
Yeah. So you guys have a great weekend. We will see you next Thursday, 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. We love you guys.
Love
Be
you.
safe.
Bye. See you
Bye
later.
bye.